welcome back to the Citizen channel. You're all staying safe and well. And this is a part 2, guys, so make sure you go back and check out part 1. It's a thank you, yes, to Stefan Ortega. A little thank you for his time at City. This is part 2. Of course, he joined Nottingham Forest on transfer deadline day 2026. So this is a little look back at his time at City, and a thank you for his time, of course, with City. We'll look back through the means of various sports media, football programmes, the newspapers, and my own personal observations as well. We'll chat about Stefan Ortega and how he did. Last time out, in part 1, Ortega proved a good number 2, and had some journalists wondering if he should be a number 1. Yeah, the fans would soon start thinking that as well. Well, some fans. Will join his first season, 22-23, just after the return from that World Cup break and a Carabao Cup tie at Southampton. Right, before we take a look, if you're watching on TikTok, hit that like button, be great. Give us a follow. I'll follow you, everyone, back on TikTok. And if you get a chance, get over to YouTube and check out all my City content on there. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. That helps me as a content creator, helps the channel. We can do that, and of course any hype points to spare as well, guys, on YouTube. That helps me as well. It helps me get out there in the algorithms and all this sort of thing, so it will be much appreciated. And press that notification button, you know, these vlogs are coming out. Right, back to Stefan Ortega at City. Thank you. This is part 2. As I said, please make sure you've watched part 1. Right, 3 days after an FA Cup win over Chelsea in early January, a sorry exit, though, in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, 2-0 loss at St Mary's to Southampton on January 11th. That was a horrible journey. Certainly a horrible journey back, that's for sure. Ortega rated just a 4 out of 10 from Joe Bray in the Manchester Evening News. He said of his performance, good save to deny Degenepo early on, but was poor in possession in the build-up to Southampton's first goal through Mara, and was in no man's land for Degenepo's second to get lobbed from 30 yards. Not a good night for the City keeper. He scored him a 4 out of 10. I was a little bit kind. I scored him a 5. I didn't mince my words on this one. I said he's back up. That's all he is as a keeper. That great game in the Cup against Chelsea seems a long time ago. It was only 3 days earlier, I think. Check out part 1. Despite this, Stefan put that poor performance behind him, though, in the next round of the FA Cup, a 1-0 home win over Arsenal on the 27th of January. Simon Bukowski, the Manchester Evening News, said 2 excellent saves in the first half, even if he then got in a bad mix-up with Stones. Scored him an 8 out of 10. Yep, I agreed. I give him an 8 out of 10. I said, what is consistent, though, is his inconsistency. Excellent against Chelsea in round 3, poor against the Saints in the Carabao Cup, and very good again today. Never quite sure which Ortega will turn up, but a very good performance, I said. He also got a 7 from Ian Laderman of the Mail. On the 1st of February, in an interview, Stefan revealed how much he's enjoying life at City. To date, Ortega had made 7 appearances in all competitions, keeping 4 clean sheets, the latest being during the last Friday's excellent 1-0 FA Cup round win over Arsenal that we just talked about. Ortega's impact has always been left at the CFA training ground, with his dedication, application and talent helping add further depth and quality to the club's goalkeeping department. Reflecting then on his time at City so far, Ortega revealed how he sought to push himself in every training session to ensure he was primed for action whenever called upon. And he was also highlighting how everyone at the club had helped him quickly adapt and settle into both a new environment and a new country. He said, it's all about the training. When I don't play so much, I have to improve in the normal routine, which is training in the week. When I prepare everything in the week, I feel ready for the game. So it doesn't matter if it's a training game or a cup game like the one on Friday. I feel really good. I like it here. Everyone at this club is really friendly and wants to try and help you, so it's easy to settle in. I tried to show my best performance and my also good on the ball. Not only in shot stopping, I felt ready and prepared on Friday. With City through to the Champions League round of 16, it would be Edison, though, that featured all the way, of course, to Istanbul, as Ortega was given, sole FA Cup duty this season. In the FA Cup away at Bristol City on the 28th of February, a 3-0 win, he would only complete one half. Simon Bukowski said he took a knock and had to be replaced early. Kicking put under pressure at times, though, and scored him a 6. I give him a 6.5. He got injured while diving at a player's feet bravely. That was okay. He was actually offside in the build-up, the player, so it was unnecessary, but still brave. He recovered quickly, though, and we next saw him in action in the Premier League, a 6-0 win over Burnley at the Etihad on March the 19th. Simon Bukowski scored him a 7 out of 10. He said short passing nearly got City into trouble, but his long kicking paid off for the opening goal. A comfortable evening. Off to Wembley for a semi-final with Sheffield United in a 3-0 win on the 22nd of April. Joe Bray said Manchester City's second-choice goalkeeper produced a huge save in the second minute to deny Ilman Ndiaye and was dependable whenever Sheffield United threatened again and scored him a 7 out of 10. Yep, 7 out of 10 from me as well. Not too troubled. A good save from poor finishing early on would have helped any early nerves and ensured he wouldn't do a Zach Stefan. Of course, he'd had a disastrous semi-final, I think it was the season before, in last season's semi. On the 3rd of May, Ortega made his Premier League start debut in a 3-0 win over West Ham United. Pep's reasoning was that he wanted to give Ederson a rest and had full confidence in Stefan. Some murmurings, though, for Stefan to be given the number 1 spot over Ederson had slightly cooled by this time, as Ederson had put in some excellent displays to take City to the brink of a Premier League title, and that trip, of course, to Istanbul for the Champions League final. Joe Bray said, a surprise pick for his Premier League debut. Ortega was good under pressure with the ball and stood firm to make a good save from Bowen in the first half. Scored him a 6 out of 10. I was a bit kinder. I give him a 6.5 out of 10. I said, for me, nothing wrong. A bit more deliberate playing out, but a clean sheet, so he should be happy. He then went on to keep another clean sheet in City's final home game against Chelsea on the 21st of May, which finished 1-0. City, of course, had already scored the title by then and secured the Champions League final spot as well. Simon Bukowski said of his game, made a number of good saves and distribution was mostly good as well, scoring him an 8. I give him a 7.5, said he had a very good game, though Chelsea lacked any real intent, but he did his bit. An alleged hungover squad took a 1-1 draw at Brighton on the 24th of May. Yes, a few empty seats in the City end for that one. Where were we all? Where were all our loyal fans? But anyway, he started again in this one. Simon Bukowski said almost let Brighton in twice early on with some dodgy decisions, but made a number of decent saves after. Scored him a 7 out of 10. I scored him a 6. I said it was a nervy start, okay making saves, but early I don't even know if this is a word, tentativity I called it, may have dropped us right in it. Yes, it was a bit nervy. A 6 from Matthew Dunn of the Express. He completed the last of all 6 games in that FA Cup run as we lifted the trophy, of course, against our old mates from Trafford on the 3rd of June, a 2-1 win. Simon Bukowski said of his cup final performance, could do nothing with the penalty and otherwise kept his cool under pressure and distribution was good, scored him a 7. I give him a 7 as well. And yes, that penalty he conceded was the only goal he let in that year's FA Cup run. He was on the bench, though, of course, for the glorious 1-0 win over Inter Milan in Istanbul as City completed that memorable treble. In my end-of-season player ratings, I said this of Stefan's debut season. I said he was impressive as backup keeper. 14 starts, 3 Premier League, 2 Champions League, all 3 Carabao Cup games, and of course all 6 FA Cup ties. Though some good scores from the 18 players who played at least 2 FA Cup games. His average rating was 6.92 for me, 6.83 for the Manchester Evening News, but it only got him to 10th in the player ratings, but so that's quite high. That's high ratings. Overall, he rated a 6.64 for me and a 6.71 for the Manchester Evening News, and he kept 9 clean sheets in the 14 games. The stacks do stack up pretty well against Ederson, but it must be remembered that he played generally less pressure games and at times weaker opposition. But in his favour, he normally played behind a relatively weaker City defensive unit as well. Journalist David McDonald did an end-of-season review and scored him a 7 out of 10. He said he proved a very useful number 2 to Ederson and thoroughly deserved his FA Cup winners' medal after playing in all 6 rounds. Notably comfortable with the ball at his feet in his debut Premier League season, the German averaged a goal conceded every 174 minutes over his 14 appearances. Almost 3 games. That's not bad, is it? Impressive by any standards. Next up, season 2023-24. In pre-season, 3 goals conceded in a 5-3 win over Yokohama F. Marinos on the 23rd of July. Richard Fate of the Manchester Evening News said, comfortable in possession, but could have done better with a couple of the goals, scored him a 6 out of 10. He got a 5.5 from me. Yes, sorry, poor for 2 of the goals, I said. He was a second-half replacement for Edison in a 2-1 loss to Atletico Madrid on the 30th of July. Richard Fate said of his appearance, superb save from Lionel's header and little chance with either goal, scoring him a 6. I give him a 6 as well. A loss on penalties 4-1 to Arsenal though in the Community Shield on the 6th of August after a 1-1 draw in normal and added time. Taken from the match report, 25 minutes, Ortega does well to save from Havertz and stones his chest out and Martinelli follow-up. It was a close call. On 101 minutes, it's not to be. A speculative shot by Trossard takes not 1, but 2 deflections, a second off a Kanji to wrong foot Ortega. Arsenal have stuffily got an equaliser. Simon Bukowski said of his performance, made 2 good saves in the first half to stop Arsenal taking the lead and had little to do after that. Charged down twice in possession though, scoring him a 7. I give him a 7 as well, although he's a bit weak on the penalties. But then again, I didn't consider Edison would have done much better. He watched on as City lifted the Super Cup, though, by he watched his fellow keeper Edison, who had a player of the match performance in that game as City won on penalties against Sevilla. His first start after that Community Shield loss was in the Carabao Cup at Newcastle, but sadly City were dumped out 1-0 on the 27th of September. Joe Bray said of that night, City's cup goalkeeper stood firm when needed, saving from Jacob Murphy in the first half. Helpless though for Newcastle's goal, scored him a 6 out of 10. Again, I was kind, a 6.5 from me. I thought there was not much wrong with his performance and a couple of okay saves as well. Ian Murtagh of the Mirror scored him a 7 out of 10. A rare Premier League start, a 2-1 home win over Brighton on the 21st of October. Simon Bukowski said, did well to block Mitomo through on goal in the second half, but his kicking was ropey, putting City under pressure, scored him 6 out of 10. I wasn't even as kind as that. I scored him a 5. I said he was lucky against Mitomo. He should have scored and his distribution was poor. He got a 6 though from John Richardson in the Express Mirror, so perhaps I was the odd one out on that one. His first Champions League start of the season, City came back from 2 down to beat RB Leipzig at the Etihad 3-2 on the 28th of November. Simon Bukowski said, couldn't do anything with the goals and dealt well with everything else that came his way, scoring him a 6 out of 10. He got a 6 out of 10 from me as well. And also a 6 from Jeremy Cross of the Express. Another 3-2 win over RB Salzburg, this time away, and Stefan got the call again on the 13th of December. Simon Bukowski said of his performance, 2 excellent saves in the second half to preserve City's lead in another confidence showing with hands and feet. He scored him a 7 out of 10. A 7 also for me. I said he looked a little nervy early doors, but more than made up for them early jitters later. He watched on from the bench as City lifted the Club World Cup for the first time in our history. He did feature, though, in the final matchday programme of the year, a home game with Sheffield United on the 30th of December 2023. The piece simply called Stefan Ortega, number 18. This is that piece in the programme. If being a reserve goalkeeper is one of the toughest jobs in professional football, then performing that role for Pep and Manchester City throws up an additional unique set of challenges. Credit Stefan Ortega, therefore, for doing such a good job at standing on the occasions that first choice keeper Edison has not been available over the past 2 seasons. It has not been easy in the season and a half since he moved to English football from Germany, but the experienced keeper has made the most of the opportunity and done an admirable job of filling the gloves of the Brazilian ace when called upon. It resulted in Ortega being part of the treble-winning squad in his very first season, and he has continued to prove a more than reliable deputy when City managers look to rotate his squad. Which begs the question, of course, as to what exactly Ortega thinks a backup goalkeeper needs to be able to do with the champions. Good question, said Ortega. I think first of all he has to be a good shot stopper, because this is your main target as a goalkeeper, to save it. And then, of course, you have to be as good with your feet, and I think to play here for Man City you need a full package of a keeper. The build-up, control the space behind the last line, and of course control the box, and to be a really, really good shot stopper. These qualities were obvious last season as the 31-year-old in 14 games of the treble-winning campaign, 3 of them in the Premier League. He only conceded 10 goals in those games and had an impressive save rate of 80% from the 45 shots he faced. They were impressive stats and a reward for the professionalism which Guardiola always talks about when speaking about his goalkeeper corps that also features veteran Scott Carson. It's all about the training sessions every day, said Ortega. We, as a goalkeeper group, try to improve every day and push each other. I can learn from Eddie. Eddie can learn from me as well. We have Scott as well, who helps us a lot in many situations. I try every day to get ready and to be ready, and that's the key. Not that there aren't any challenges posed by being a reserve keeper at a modern successful club like City. Of course, outfield players can always compete for more than one position, a luxury which is not open to a goalkeeper, who naturally has only one of the 11 jerseys to aim for. He makes every appearance for the German all the more special, with Ortega having been given the starts in the current season so far, the Community Shield, 1 in the Premier League, 1 in the EFL Cup and 2 in Europe. Of course, I'm happy for every game I get here, for the next chance to show the best version of me, he said. First of all, we have a lot of quality in this team, so every training session is on a very high level, and then I'm not at the beginning of my 20s. I have a lot of experience and know how to handle it. And yes, it's just about how being ready every time, because you never know. This is my key, to be ready, and it's not so difficult to be ready. This season has seen Ortega maintain his impressive results record. Last season, on Carabao Cup quarter-final loss at Southampton was the only defeat he played in, to go with 11 victories, including that memorable Derby FA Cup final win over United in June. This season, there was a narrow Carabao Cup defeat at Newcastle and defeat to Arsenal in the Community Shield penalty shootout loss. But the winning spirit and attitude that characterised City last season is still there, according to the keeper. The spirit is still the same. We are still hungry, he said. We know now what is possible with this team and club. That's why everyone is still hungry. When you are the winner of the competition, the season after everyone tries to punish you and beat you. We still have the crown, but we will fight for the next one. It's like last season, it's my second season here now, before I played for a small average club in Germany, so I can't lose my head here or think it's normal what we've got here now. So for me, it's easy to do the same. Like last season, be there every day, every training session. If I play, I try to play my best game. It's that kind of philosophy and attitude that has impressed Guardiola, prompted City to sign Ortega in the summer transfer window in 2022 from Bielefeld in Germany. He had come through the Armenia youth ranks and made his first team debut there in the third tier of the German league. He went on to help the club, whose name Armenia comes from an ancient local warrior who defeated the Romans, by the way, reached German's second division before moving to 1860 Munich. He returned to Armenia in 2017 and spent 3 seasons back with his original club, helping them win a fairy tale promotion to the Bundesliga in 2020. In his first season in Germany's top tier, Ortega kept a clean sheet in their final game, a 2-0 win at Stuttgart to confirm his team's survival, and was voted the second best keeper in the Bundesliga. Ortega could not help Armenia, though, stay up the next season, unfortunately, and relegation saw him exercise his free agency and move to England. Despite battling at the wrong end of the Bundesliga, or perhaps because he had so much work to do, Ortega was put on standby for the German squad in the 2020 Euro finals, played in 2021, although he has yet to earn an international call-up. Not that Ortega, whose Spanish-sounding name, incidentally coming from his father, who's from that country, is looking beyond his club's responsibilities, such as a recent Champions League win over RB Leipzig at the Etihad that showed City continue in the competition's knockout stages in the new year. It's really important to always get some games and the result, especially for me personally, that we won again and we finished in that first place. It's better to have the second leg at home after the group stage. We know how difficult it is for opponents here to play, so this was a target before the game. We achieved it and everyone is happy. It wasn't a nice feeling to concede too, and we struggled in the first half. Most importantly, it was how we reacted. In the end, we showed who we are and the reaction was brilliant. We are patient and didn't lose the focus. I was disappointed to concede with the first 2 shots on target, but we showed a strong mentality after the first half and fully deserved to win in the end. It was a win that was clinched with a late goal from Julian Alvarez, a player who arrived at the Etihad in the same summer as Stefan Ortega and has formed a part of the City dressing room that the goalkeeper says makes his workplace a happy one. He's a nice guy. He was a bit shy in the beginning, but now he's fully adapted. He's an incredible player and a really nice person, said Ortega. He's still young, so he can improve every day like everyone in this team. The connection we have is incredible. There are so many nationalities. You enjoy every day when you go to training. It's a lot of fun. There you go, guys. Join me next time as City and Stefan, start our defence of the FA Cup at home to Huddersfield. And Stefan again as people, journalists, the public, asking should he be City's number one. So join me for that. Let me know any members you've got of Stefan, guys. It'd be great to have them. That'd be fantastic. Please, if you enjoyed the content, stay tuned. Other ways to support the channel or anything I can do for you. You want a shout out for a project or a charity, I can do it through YouTube, or I can do it through any of my socials. I've got a lot of socials out there. I can get the word out for you. So if you want to contact me here through YouTube or on TikTok if you're on there, or of course any of my socials. And to find out how you can do that, just stay watching and listening.
Thanks for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the feature anyway, and please, if you can, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, that'd be wonderful. And if you're not already a subscriber, it'd be great if you could subscribe. It's absolutely free. Also, check out all my social media links. I'll be in the description and comments below if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. We can chat on there and do all things City, of course. Also, if you're into film and TV, don't forget a lot of this channel is film and TV stuff. I love me film and TV like I do City. So if you're into that, have a look. Or if you know someone who might not be that bothered about the football but likes film and TV, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very grateful. And special thanks as ever to supporters of the channel. Piat6505, they've got a little eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia mainly, including books, magazines, posters, lots of posters, and they do have some City stuff as well that they've purloined off me over time, so there'll be a few bits and pieces, probably more going on as well. So have a look at Piat6505 on eBay. And yes, if you do go onto eBay, and if you're a member, we do have memberships, 99p a month. You get early access to all my vlogs, so as soon as I do them, you get them. Sometimes it could be months before they're published generally, so a lot of the history stuff, so you have access. The membership gives you access to that. It gives you 10% extra off at Piat6505 if you want to buy any of that memorabilia, so you can actually gain that from being a member and support the channel. That's a great way of supporting the channel, of course, like watching the ads on the original thing that you've seen now, my original feature. That'd be fantastic. So yeah, also before we go, podcasts. If you like your podcasts, I do a podcast with Mike Long in South Korea. It's called Bolt from the Blue, in our 8th season. Yeah, we've had some good fun on there. We're trying to have a bit of humour, generally look at City's games as and when we play them, have a look back. So please check out that. It's on Soundcloud, Spotify, all good places you get your podcasts from. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed everything about this feature, and you didn't mind me asking you about this at the end. And please, all I ever ask for you is to stay safe, everyone, especially you Blues.